Hi guys, welcome back to Rochelle's Creations. It's been a really long time since I've made a video, but I'm back with a new camera and better sound and really delicious vegan recipes. So I hope you guys are excited. Today we're going to make some vegan samosas that are baked and they're very delicious and spicy. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. They're also good for the holidays, and let's just jump right into it. All right guys, so I'm going to start by cooking these potatoes. I have 4 red-skinned potatoes and I've chopped them up into chunks, and I'm just going to boil them in some salted water until they are soft. Alright, so the potatoes have been boiling about 20 minutes and they're soft, so I'm just going to drain out the water and show you the next step. Alright, so I've drained the potatoes, and the first thing I'm going to add is the Earth Balance and some garlic. I'm just gonna put that in there, and I'm going to start smashing the potatoes with the Earth Balance just to sort of get them at a good texture before I add the other seasonings. And don't worry about getting the potatoes super smooth like mashed potatoes. You want them pretty creamy, but they don't have to be perfect because they're just going in as a samosa filling. And I'll add in the curry powder. And the mixture of pepper and chili powder and cardamom and cumin. The frozen spinach. Just keep mashing it up. Add in the salt. Alright, so this is about the texture that you want. I did add like 2 tablespoons of water just to get it to mash a little bit easier, but you do want a couple of sort of chunky chunks of potatoes, and as always the exact measurements for all of the seasonings I used are in the description. So let's move on to the dough. Alright, so for the dough we are just going to take 1 cup of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to kind of lightly mix that together. And then we're going to take our Earth Balance and we're going to mix that into the flour mixture. I find that the easiest way to do this, much like pie dough, is just to sort of incorporate it with your hands. And you want to do that until the dough sort of resembles small little peas or, you know, little granules of sorts. So if you do it with a spoon, it just isn't quite the same. So just do this for a little while. And this is looking pretty good. As you can see, it's kind of a, you know, almost chalky texture because all of the fat has combined. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stir in our 5 tablespoons of water. You can do it a little bit at a time, just kind of, I'll just pour it all in there. And then just kind of stir that in just a little bit. And then you might want to flour your hands a little bit before you put them back in there if you don't want them to get too sticky. But what we'll have at the end is a relatively sticky dough, but that's okay, that's what you want. I just flour my hands a bit. And then just work the dough a little bit more. Make sure that it's nice and together. Like I said, it is supposed to be slightly sticky and stretchy. That's okay. It should be, look something like this. Easy to hold and fondle. And then we're done with this step. Alright, so now I'm just going to flour the work surface here, and then we're going to roll out our dough and begin forming the samosas. so now we're just going to cut the rolled out dough into circles. Make sure that you rolled out the dough very thin, just about as thinly as you can, because it makes it a little crisper in the end. And I'm just using this lid from an old container to make these circles because I don't have like a biscuit cutter about this size. And then we're just going to take these circles and put them off to the side and just continue this process until all of your dough is cut out into these nice little circles. Alright, so I cut out all of the dough into little circles and I put our filling here into a bowl. And now we're going to start rolling the samosas. And this is where it gets interesting. So what you want to do is just cut each little circle in half. You can do this one at a time. Put this to the side for a moment. And take this little guy. And we're going to take maybe a teaspoon or so of filling. You don't want to fill them too much because it makes them harder to seal. So, you know, use your best judgment. Just kind of, probably about right. And then what you want to do is just kind of fold them into a little triangle, rolling the half circle up, and then pinch the edges. This takes a little bit of practice, but it's okay if they don't look perfect because they'll taste just as good. Just make sure that you seal them properly. Make sure the little edges are like that. And there we have our first little samosa. Alright, if you're having trouble sort of shaping the samosa, you know, just find what works best for you. A lot of, you know, when you do them traditionally, you just sort of roll them into a cone, you know, and then you put the filling in last. But, you know, just find what way sort of works for you and go with that. Takes a little bit of time to get them to kind of a pretty shape, but these look pretty good in the end. This one's looking pretty good. And make sure you have your oven preheated to 375 degrees. And let's put these little guys on a baking tray. All right, so I'm just gonna pop these little guys in the oven at 370 degrees, and they're going to cook for like 20-25 minutes, and we're gonna flip them over halfway when they're halfway done cooking. So let's put these in the oven. All right guys, so I had these in the oven for like 25-ish minutes and they turned out to be pretty nice and golden brown, as you can see here. And I'll just take a bite of one for you guys. They're really delicious. You can see all the potatoey goodness. And the dough is really good. I think that's why they work when they're baked. You should serve them with whatever sauce you like. And yeah, they make a great dish. So I hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you next time.